So the sutra is what? A barrier. Now some say that there's a difference of opinion as to how high it should be or whatnot, but the main thing is that you make a distinction. If I don't have anything, I might just put my glasses down.
Your shoes.
And that signifies my sutra for me. You know, I know what it signifies. If someone, they're intelligent, they use kiyas and understand analytical deduction, that man, he put that there for a sutra. Right? But the main thing is that you put something down to signify your sutra, or if I don't have nothing else, I stand against, you know, facing the wall, facing the pillar, facing here, facing the desk, facing the microphone, you know, something that signifies a sutra. Okay? Now the next thing is the intention, the niyyah of the Salaah. The niyyah, intention, not my words. Okay? The intention, number 2. Imam Nawawi says in Rawda al-Talibin, the intention is the purpose, so the person about to pray brings to mind that prayer and what is relevant of its characteristics, such as which prayer it is, whether it is obligatory, etc. And he brings these things together in his intention with his first takbir. He, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, used to say, all actions are by intention, and every man shall have what he has intended. The hadith contains an indication that he did not use to commence it, meaning the prayer, with the words, as some of the people say, "Oh Allah, I intend to pray," etc., which is in fact agreed to be innovation. It is in fact agreed to be an innovation. It is a bid'ah. But they differ as to whether it is a good or bad innovation, to which we say, indeed, all innovations in worship are misguided. From the generality of his statement, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all innovations are misleading, and every misleading thing is in the fire. Okay? So, the rule of thumb is that to say anything out loud, "Oh Allah, I intend," "Oh Allah, please accept my 3 rounds," this is a bid'ah. Bid'ah. Innovation. We don't say this out loud. The Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he came, he went to make salat, he said takbir. They say that your takbir is your entering into the salat. This is your takbir or tahreem. You're going into the salat. So the thing that enters you into the salat, again, is the takbir. He, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, would commence the prayer by saying, Allahu Akbar, which is Allah is greatest. He ordered the man who prayed badly, saying to do likewise as has been mentioned. And he said to him, verily the prayer of a person is not complete until he has made an ablution which has included the necessary parts of the body, and has then said, Allahu Akbar. He also used to say, the key to the prayer is purification. The key to the prayer is purification. It is entered by the takbir, and it is exited by the taslim. Narrated by Abu Dawud, Tirmidhi, and Al-Hakim, and declared in the Sahih, and Dhahabi agreed. Literally, the takbir makes it haram, i.e. the actions which Allah has made haram during it, and the taslim makes it halal, i.e. what is allowed outside prayer. Just as the hadith proves that the door to prayer is shut, no worshipper being able to open it except with purification, and similarly proves that the prayer cannot be entered except with the takbir, meaning Allahu Akbar, and that it cannot be exited except with the taslim, which is the assalamu alaikum. So the prayer, you enter the prayer with what?
Takbir.
Takbir, which means
Allah.
Allahu Akbar. And how do you exit the prayer? Taslim. No, taslim is Allahu Akbar. Okay?
So all of that is part of number 4?
All of this is with regards to how do we enter the prayer and exit the prayer. Because we're starting from the niyyah. Because we're talking about the niyyah to say, oh Allah, I intend, this is a bid'ah. So we're saying that the proper way to enter into the prayer is just with the takbir. The takbir enters you into it, The taslim exits you out of it.
You
This is
already have it in your heart. That's
Right.
what you're getting ready to do.
right. Even some scholars say that when you made the intention, when you went to go make wudu, what did you make wudu for? To make salah. Why did you even go into the bathroom to get the water? Because I mean, so what you already did it. It's here. You already made it in your mind. Okay, so the takbir. Also, he, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, used to raise his voice for the takbir such that those behind him could hear, so he would say it out loud. This is narrated by Imam Ahmed and Al-Hakim, and Dhahabi agreed that it's sahih. But when he fell ill, Abu Bakr used to raise his voice to convey the takbir of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to the people. So it said that Abu Bakr, when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was ill and his voice was low, then Abu Bakr would say the takbir after the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is narrated by Sahih Muslim and Nasa'i. He would also say, when the Imam says Allahu Akbar, then say Allahu Akbar. This is narrated by Ahmed and Bayhaqi. Now some take this hadith literally to say Allahu Akbar after the Imam, but there are some who say that to say the Allahu Akbar out loud, it is a bid'ah. That the takbir of the Imam, I'm just giving you both opinions. Okay? I'm just giving you both opinions. Some take the hadith literally, where it says to when the Imam says say Allahu Akbar, then you say Allahu Akbar. Now some are the opinion that the takbir of the Imam is equivalent for everyone, so that there is no need to say it, and that to be said out loud after the Imam is a bid'ah. Okay.
It says blessings every time you say.
Right. So I'm just giving you both things, because you might go into some masjids and they don't say the takbir after the Imam. You might go into some masjids you hear everybody saying.
It can't be loud over the
Imam. And the other thing is, for those who even do agree that you can say the takbir, they agree that it shouldn't be loud to the point that it disturbs everybody. So if the man says Allah, Allah, you can't be louder than the Imam. Then if your takbir is so loud that now he has to wait for you to finish to get into his, recitation, I gotta wait till you finish. It's too much. Okay? So Allahu Akbar. Okay? So now we go into the salat. We have our sutra. We know we got to face the Kaaba, right? We know we got to stand, and we know that our intention is in our heart. Our intention is where?
In our heart.
Do we have to say it out loud?
No.
If we say it out loud, this is called
Bid'ah.
Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. So now we go into this. We're standing straight. We got our sutra, right? And our feet should be facing the Qibla. Our feet should be facing the Qibla, as Anas bin Malik said. He said everything, and our hands. He said we Sahabas used to like to face everything towards the Qibla, our feet, our hands, and everything. Okay?
Now, I don't know, this is something I've been looking for but haven't found, but is it also just like we should keep our fingers close together?
Yes.
Keep from the shaitan and everything?
I don't know about the shaitan, but when we get into it, it'll tell you how he put his fingers.
Yeah.
I haven't read anything specifically about the shaitan, but it said that he would keep them straight and then would face the Qibla.
Because I know just standing close to each other, shoulder to shoulder and all that, keeping everything closed where there's no gaps anywhere.
Yeah.
So,
We'll get to it, inshallah. So now we're standing. So the next thing is to go into the salat and we make the takbir. Now we're going to the raising of the hands. Okay, so now we're going to the raising of the hands. Raising the hands. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ would raise his hands sometimes with the takbir. So when he said Allahu Akbar, sometimes he raised it with takbir. Sometimes after the takbir, and sometimes before the takbir. This is narrated in Sahih Bukhari, Nasa'i, Bukhari and Abu Dawood. Sometimes he would raise his hands with the takbir. So Allahu Akbar. Sometimes after the takbir. Allahu Akbar. Then he would do it after. Then sometimes it said he would do it before the takbir. Allahu Akbar. All of them are correct. All of them are part of the sunnah. Okay? So raising the hands with, after, and before. All sunnah. Okay? Watch my hand, brother. All sunnah. So therefore, don't get bogged down on someone that you see doing it before or after or whatever. All of them are part of the sunnah. Okay? Next, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would raise them with his fingers apart, not spaced out, not together, but apart, and he would put them level with his shoulders. So when he did the takbir, he would raise his hands at least up to his shoulders. Although occasionally he would raise them until they were level with the top of his ears. So when he raised his hands for the takbir, he would raise them up to his shoulders or sometimes to the top of his ears. Okay? Both is correct. Anywhere in between his shoulders and the top of the ears, this is how he would raise his hands.
So it's not this.
Either up to the shoulders or to the ears. Either one. Anywhere in between there. Okay? Okay, so that's how you raise the hands. We'll go over one more section, and then we'll stop there, and we'll go into a break. But the next one is placing the right arm over the left. And this is one that after this, you have no ambiguousness about this. Can we pray with our hands down? Do we have to pray with our right over the left? Are the Shiites right? Are the Malikis right? Right over left. Okay? When we're talking about right over left, we're talking about pertaining to how you place the arms after you make the takbir. After saying Allahu Akbar, how do I place my arms? Okay? And we're going to read the hadith. To place the right arm on the left arm and the command to do so. He, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, used to place his right arm on his left arm. Narrated by Sahih Muslim Abu Dawood. And he used to say, we the company of prophets have been commanded to hasten the breaking of the fast, meaning to hurry to break the fast, don't delay the breaking of the fast. To delay the meal before the fast, meaning to delay the suhoor, right? Make it as close to fajr as possible. And we were commanded to place the right arms on our left arms during the prayer. This is narrated in Ibn Hibban with a Sahih Isnad, Ibn Hibban. And Niyyah with the Sahih Isnad. So we were commanded. So the Prophet Muhammad said that this was a commandment. So to place the right arm over the left arm is commanded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
So where did this come from?
The Hanafis, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. And that's not proper.
So we're doing it like this.
Okay? And that's not proper. Also, he, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, passed by a man who was praying, and he had placed his left arm over his right arm. So he pulled them apart and put the right over the left. This is narrated by the Muslim Imam Ahmed and the Sahih of Abu Dawood. So he saw a man praying improperly with the left or right, and he made him change it during the salat and made his right over his left. To place the hands on the chest. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to place the right arm. He used to place the right arm on the back of his left palm. His left arm on the back of his left palm, wrist, and forearm. So his right arm was over his left wrist, arm, and forearm. And he commanded his companions to do likewise. Not this. Arm over the arm. This is narrated by Abu Dawud, Nasahi, Ibn Khuzaimah, with a Sahih Isnad, and Ibn Ibn, and the Muwatta of Imam Malik, Bukhari, and Abu Awana.
At the chest, right?
We're still talking about, we're just talking about putting it right over the left, over the forearm. So we're removing the concept of putting your hands together. And sometimes he would grasp his left arm with his right. And sometimes he would grasp his left arm with his right. So he would hold on. He used to place them on his chest. This is narrated by Abu Dawud and Khuzaimah in the Sahih. It says here, Nasahi and Daraqutni with the Sahih Isnad in this hadith. There is evidence that grasping is from the Sunnah. And in the previous hadith, that so is placing, so both are Sunnah. As for the combination of holding and placing, which some of the later Hanafis hold to be good, then that is an innovation. Its form, as they state, is to place the right hand or the left on the left, holding the wrist with the little finger and thumb, and laying the flat remaining 3 fingers as described in Ibn Abidin's footnotes. So do not be confused by what they say. So not like the Hanafi. It says, note, to place them on the chest is what is proved in the Sunnah, and all that is contradictory to it is either da'if or totally baseless. So to place it here, below the navel, or all that. The right arm is to be placed on the back of the left, on the upper part of the chest. Close to this is what Abdullah ibn Ahmed ibn Hanbal related to us in the Masail. I saw that when praying, my father placed his hands one on the other above the navel. He used to forbid putting one's hands on the waist during the prayer, and he put his hands on his waist to demonstrate, and he said this is silk, which he used to forbid. So to pray with your hands on your side is forbidden. Okay? So, the Sunnah, Takbir, at least to your shoulders or to your ears, your right arm over your left arm, sometimes holding it on your chest. That is the strongest hadith. Remember, the muhaddithin or the scholars of hadith say that the hadith are general for the men and the women. Unless the Prophet Muhammad specifically says for the women, they do this. I don't know where they got this from. I don't know where this got from, or I don't know where that came from, but the women have to do just like the men. Right over left. Okay? There is no hadith about them putting their hands together and placing them like this. I've never seen it. Has anybody seen it? Raise your hand. Okay. I don't know. Okay? And on the...
Well, I have, but not in hadith.
You might have seen an illustration or a picture of somebody doing it, but
Well,
no dalil on it.
Yeah, I've
No
seen
hadith.
it in, there was a war-themed hadith book that I have, that I saw that in, and I think another book of illustration that it showed that, but not in our Muslim or Bukhari or anything like that.
No. All right. So this is what we have so far for the Salah, because we're going to go into the next class. Okay? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go through the Salah piece by piece, hadith by hadith, dalil, so we know exactly what it is that we're doing. So we understand we got to come in with a perfect wudu, first and foremost. That's why we went over the wudu. We went over tahara. We went over stinja. We went over fitra. Okay? We went over ghusl. We went over all those aspects, because before we can even get into the salah, we got to do that. Okay, now we're getting ready to go into the salah. We got to make sure our clothes are right. We got to make sure our aura is right. We got to make sure our clothes are clean. I got to understand I got to face the Qibla. I got to face the Kaaba. I got to understand I got to put down a what? I got to put down a sutra. Now I understand that what is it that enters me into the salah?
Takbir.
What exits me out the salah?
Salam.
Taslim. When you make the takbir,
Allahu Akbar.
the first takbir into the salah, this is called takbir tahreem. Takbir tahreem. Okay? And as you can see, the word tahreem, it has tahreem, it has haram in it. Right? So when I make takbir, that means that everything outside of salat is haram. Understand that?
What did you just say?
Okay. Let me say it one more time. Takbir tahreem. This is when you go into the salat. Allahu Akbar, I'm going into the salat. This first opening takbir is called takbir tahreem. Takbir tahreem. Right? And as you see the word tahreem, it has the word haram in it. So when I make takbir tahreem, that means that when I make this opening proclamation of Allahu Akbar, that means that I have went into a state of sanctity, and that everything outside of the salat is haram for me to be thinking about. The only thing I should be thinking about now is the salat.
Can't be broke.
What about the gestures and movies?
We'll get into that. We'll get into that. Okay? Any questions on anything that we talked about so far, thus far? Okay? What we're going to do, we're going to have like a 15-minute, 20-minute break. We got bananas, we got water. So, inshallah. But any questions before we go into the next class subject? Okay? So, what is mandatory that we have before we make salat? What do we got to have up? What is mandatory that we have when we make the salat?
Sutra.
A sutra. If someone tries to pass us, what do we do?
Go around them, or
You know, if someone tries to pass us,
oh, you have to keep
Put our
them away.
hands.
what if they try to pass us the third time?
We fight
Because
because it's Satan.
if I'm walking in the masjid and someone has a sutra up, can I walk in front?
No.
No.
How long should I wait?
40.
At least 40.
Till they finish.
All right, we're going to take a 15-minute break, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.